In California, we are a community property state. And at the most basic level, what that means is, for a married couple, any assets that they earn from work during the marriage, or any assets they acquire during marriage, are community property, 50% owned by each spouse. There are some assets, if acquired even during marriage, that are not de facto community property. They're called separate property. The most important one for most people is an inheritance, and of course the most important one that we want to deal with in estate planning. So a lot of clients come to me and say, okay, if I leave these assets to my kids, what happens if they wind up getting divorced? How do we protect them from their spouse taking half of it? The way we do that is through a continuing trust. The irrevocable trust will create a continuing trust at the death of both spouses. We'll hold the assets for the benefit of the child. The child can be their own trustee if there are spendthrift provisions in that trust to protect it. But that continuing trust allows the inheriting child to keep those assets in the trust and reinvest them and use them, but pull the assets out only as they need them. So if they're going on vacation, they can pull the money out for the vacation and leave the rest of the trust corpus in the trust. That makes sure that that kid never does anything to commingle those assets and possibly have them considered community property upon a divorce. It also, and sometimes even more importantly, gives that child the political capital with their spouse to say, look, we're not going to commingle these assets, not because of what I want, but because my parents set up this trust and the assets are supposed to be left in the trust according to their wishes and according to their law. So we can't commingle these assets. They have to stay in my name. I will pull them out for things we need, but they are going to remain in that trust protected from that spouse if they decide to get divorced.